What are some gruesome facts about pregnancy, childbirth, postpartum that not many people know? Nobody warned me that my insides would feel like they were falling out when I stood up the first few days after birth. Contractions don't finish after labor. You have the after-birth pains to look forward to when your uterus returns to its usual pre-pregnancy size. My wife's placenta wouldn't detach after the birth of our daughter, so the nurse just went up in there and got it out. I was oohing and aahing over our new baby girl, and I look over to see someone damn near elbow deep treating my wife like a sock puppet. It was so jarring. Mothers are so damn tough, dude. It's unreal. After birth, I sweat so much at night that I would wake up soaking wet from head to toe for the first week or two. First trimester miscarriages are way more common than most people think. 1 in 4 pregnancies terminate before 3 months. A short time before you give birth, anywhere from 1 to a few days before, you will pass a mucus plug, which is basically a giant loogie that dislodges from your cervix and falls out of your vagina. Somehow it's even grosser than you would think. When you birth your baby, you also birth the placenta. When the placenta detaches from the uterine wall, it leaves a raw gaping wound the size of a dinner plate that bleeds for weeks. Make sure you have lots of large maxi pads on hand. Everything smells like old ham for basically the entire first trimester and makes you constantly feel like you're about to vomit. It's like a hangover that lasts for weeks or months. Even things you loved the smell of before now smell like the dirty coins from your grandpa's car's cup holder. Some lucky women have this through their whole pregnancy, along with the resulting nausea and vomiting. Your baby will come home with a huge gnarly scab attached to their belly button. My boyfriend wasn't prepared for this one. Apparently he thought that cutting the umbilical cord made it somehow detach from the baby right then and there. Nope. Big chunk of it stays behind, but will dry up over a number of days and eventually fall off. The thing that frightens me the most is pelvic floor issues. Imagine suddenly no longer being able to control when you pee. Postpartum mental illness is a thing, and it can be horrific. Postpartum depression is extremely dangerous and can last for months after their birth. After my twins were born, my wife had a complete personality change. She became suicidal, and at times abusive to me. At one point she ran away from home. I found her 2 states away. Her brother had to bring her home. Things got really, really bad. The twins are 5 now and she's the person I married again. She doesn't like to talk about those times. The only thing she'll say is it was the darkest time in her entire life. Passing clots the size of rocks, and bleeding for weeks after. The leading cause of death in pregnant and postpartum women in the US is homicide. The feeling of your organs going back down after they were cramped up for so long is a bit frightening, especially the lungs. Standing up, I could feel like they were weighted down. People talk about cracked nipples and painful latching while discussing breastfeeding, but nobody talks about your uterus contracting during the first days of it. You will need to prep yourself for the second birth. What is that? It's when you have your first full bowel movement after. Currently pregnant. Have pregnancy rhinitis, which is effectively like a cold caused by being pregnant. Also have morning sickness. Have you ever had uncontrollable sneezing while blowing chunks? Not bucket list worthy, I promise. Hyperemesis gravidarum. Terrible. I lost 50 pounds during my pregnancy from it. They go full crazy pushing your stomach after birth to make sure everything is out. I read some books, but no one prepared me for that. It was like having another baby. The placenta is the size of a plate and leaves an internal open wound that size that also needs to heal. Edited to add. The responses and shock to this make me really angry about the level of maternal education and care that is being given. You will probably be very low on iron. Iron supplements will probably make you very sick. Kellogg's cereal, such as Frosted Mini Wheats, have 100% of your daily value of iron in a serving. Put 2 measuring cups of it in a Ziploc bag and snack on them during the day. Preeclampsia can last up to 6 weeks postpartum. You'd be amazed at how many emergency personnel don't know this. When asked if you have any medical history, please volunteer the information that you are postpartum. Don't wait for them to specifically ask. Steps off of soapbox. Don't stand up immediately after giving birth without a spill pad on the floor. I had natural childbirth. The nurse left the room, and I got up to go pee. Blood-colored fluid rushed out of me and into a huge puddle on the floor. I just stood there, shocked. The nurse came back in almost immediately. She shook her head and blamed herself. She said she forgot to tell me not to get up until she put down towels or stuff because the vast majority of new mothers couldn't get out of bed due to numbing meds.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.